Welcome back to JML Recording YouTube channel. I am Joshua Lutz. This is the mysterious, headless Hanz Volt, synthesizer guru. Just like DJ Marshmello and many producers out there, Hanz Volt would like to remain anonymous because he would like us to focus on the music. If you haven't heard his SoundCloud or his Instagram, I highly recommend it. I've been trying to get him in here for months to talk about synthesis. When did you start messing with synthesis? When did you start recording music?
18, 19. You know, my first piece of gear was a Kawai R50E drum machine. I knew my friend had one, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, I love listening to techno and stuff like that, you know?
That's always how we get into gear, right? Like our friends got one, we're like, oh, now I need to go get one of those for sure.
You wanna know what my second piece of gear was?
What's that?
A Roland TB303. In my naivete, I guess, I have a Kawai R50E drum machine. I have a Roland TB303 MIDI, didn't sync. Same 5-prong cable, but I don't understand that, you know? So I'm like there for I don't know how many weeks figuring out why I can't get these to sync up. I sold that 303 a few months later. I got my car towed, and the 303 went to pay to get my car out.
Oh man. How much gear have we sold to pay for some renovation in our home, or some baby formula, or a parking ticket, or just to make that rent? I sold. Oh, let's talk about this. Although you just said yours, the biggest piece of gear we sold to pay something off that we had to pay in our lives. Mine was a 9-piece Yamaha stage custom. I was living in Brooklyn on Metropolitan Avenue. First of the month came, I had no money. Second month came, had no money. Third of the month came the landlord banging on the door. What you gonna do? Put it on Craigslist for like half of what it was worth because I needed it that day. Some kid came, he gave me the money. I didn't even want to take it out of his hand. 9-piece Yamaha stage custom, sold it for $600 with Sabian AAX symbols.
I think I had like 10 parking tickets or something like that. I swear, it was ridiculous. You know, these are reasons you sell this gear sometimes when you're young. But you know, the story behind my 303, I bought it at this place called Crocodile Computer Music in Manhattan on Amsterdam Avenue. I put batteries in it, I put headphones on, and I'm walking down Amsterdam Avenue in Manhattan tweaking this thing. And I get on the subway, and I'm in the subway. Bro, it was awesome because I was into acid music at that time. Acid Junkies, Prototype 909, you know, a bunch of others I can't remember right now.
I was living on Amsterdam and Columbus in a hostel. And I got jumped by like 6 kids with a golf club for like $20. That's my Amsterdam story. Yours is way cooler. You remember the Electribe series that came out around that time?
I had an ER1.
Everyone had an Electribe at one point. But even when the Electribes were out, I was more of the Roland camp, and I got the MC909, which was like the flagship of the Groovebox series. To this day, I could take that thing apart. I could change the pads, the carbon pads, the transport, I can change the faders, the screen, the pots on it. It's all digital, but that thing was so cool. With the D-beam controllers, you could use it like an envelope filter with your hand, like.
Listen,
that thing was crazy.
I'm well aware.
So our first keyboard of 3 keyboards Hanz Volt brought, and he does have a massive collection, is the Korg Mono Poly. So let's jump right in.
I like getting the most aggressiveness I can out of these synthesizers, the vintage ones, you know? Because, I mean, honestly, when I hear anyone demoing a vintage synth, like in a video, I'm tired of hearing 80s riffs on a vintage synthesizer. I'm tired of hearing these soft pad swells and all this. You know, I just love the aggressiveness that you can achieve. So like one of the things I really like about the synth is this area right here, because this is, well, for me, this is where the magic happens. This is where the real aggressive nature comes out. Like each synthesizer is its own life form. So when I start a track, I already have the drums. So the poly gives me that nice sharp sawtooth.
Beautiful.
And down here it's just got that fat junk in the trunk, you know what I'm saying? So I can't help it, but I have to hit this button all the time. You know, and it's between the synced cross mod or just a cross mod, but these two knobs are magical. And yeah, they say effects, but that's just the cross modulation and it's the sync.
Wow. You should
And
call that the freight train button.
Yeah. It's the elephant coming into the room. You know, I really love the attack, the slow attack on the filter envelope. Because you hear that, wow,
Yeah,
it's like that swell.
that's where the magic is.
Yeah. And then when you add the release. The effect button, followed by these two knobs. The intensity is always jacked up over here. I always have it on this setting here. It's always in the middle. And cutoff and resonance, the resonance is crazy. You know, the filter envelope is just... I mean, it's super punchy too.
It is an aggressive keyboard.
Kind of aggressive. And this just kind of captures a bit of my soul. Next thing you know, it's like, yes, stop yelling, screaming at you, you know? Yeah, the arpeggiator is really good on this thing. The whole reason I got this synth was because I saw a video on YouTube. This guy was making these vowel sounds.
Oh, cool.
Like that yo-yai bass sound, and that is my favorite sound ever. I don't know why, but that yo-yo-yo. Oscillator 1, oscillator 2, oscillator 3. This is the mixer. This is oscillator 1, oscillator 2, oscillator 3. You know, the volume. This is external in. This is the noise. It has pink noise and white noise. This is the filter, and this is the amp envelope. So the magic is right here with the synthesizer.
Oh, okay. Show, yeah.
So this is where this is the modulation, right?
Oh.
So this is oscillator 3. That's white noise. Now I never go to white noise unless I'm just bored, right?
Okay.
But when it's on oscillator 3, the switch up means that the keyboard is gonna manipulate oscillator 3, and this is if keyboard is gonna manipulate the filter, and then this is applying oscillator 3 to the filter. Okay, now this has a feature that I don't know if it exists on other synthesizers, but when this is flipped up, there's some kind of magnet thing in here where when you push a key and wiggle the key, it will add a pitch vibrato.
But it's only side to side. It's like after their own version of after. It's
Right?
the communist aftertouch.
It's the communist aftertouch.
So funny.
It's awesome though, right?
Yeah. The Centralist Committee of the Communist Party. Look at that.
The Centralist Committee of the Communist Party. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Let's see if I can recreate that yo-yai sound that I love so much from the synthesizer, right? Wow. Do you hear this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that is definitely not the sound. But that's because I have the oscillators, the filter, everything, but it's being modulated by the noise. So let's. Okay. Now you see how that's interesting? See, 0 for the cutoff frequency is here, but 0 for the resonance is there.
Wow.
It's bizarre, right?
Bizarre.
Almost there. Wait a second. I hear it, I hear it. There it is.
Wow.
I mean, this sound is why I got this synthesizer.
Wow.
I think after shipping and everything, it was like $1,300 for the synth. And back in the day, this is like maybe 2.5 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago.
Drop it an octave? Is this your octave here?
Right here.
Here? Yeah. The actual vowel doesn't change octave, just the frequency does.
But I can...
Oh. There it is.
I love this, dude. I love this synthesizer. And the interesting thing is just... yeah. I stopped talking because I'm just listening to it, you know what I mean? But you lose it quickly. It's definitely a sweet spot for that sound. You get the more yai, and then the yai. This came out in 1977. So to me, this is like the pinnacle of synthesis. All that's going on here is got VCO1, VCO2, VCF1, VCF2, 2 VCAs. It's got 3 envelopes. The 3 envelope thing is deceiving because it has A, B, C, D, and E. So that's basically 5. And you can use any of them at any points. VCF2, right? VCF1, you can use A, B, C, D, or E, A, B, C, D, or E. The pitch, A, B, C, D, or E. I mean, it's crazy. I'll be honest with you. I think just about every single night when I get home from work, I sit down in my studio and I turn on synthesizers, you know, and I am blessed, you know, with a wife that loves me and she actually appreciates, you know, when I make music, and she appreciates my love for synthesizers, and she doesn't care, you know. She sits there with me, she observes, you know, she enjoys listening to the craziness I come up with. And for this having all these possibilities, you know, it's just, I can't get enough of this synthesizer. And the only problem with this synthesizer is I find myself just getting lost in exploring the possibilities. So, okay, when I synthesize on a synthesizer, I will explore pretty much every combination that I can muster, right? I figure out what sounds good and I stay within what sounds good. And I explore every possibility because I don't like using synthesizers with presets. I can't stand presets because actually, if you listen to any of my songs, you will rarely hear the same sound twice. And I don't know if any of my songs there's really the same sound twice. There may be variations of course, that yo-yi sound, you know. And I'm not sure if I was able to replicate a yo-yi on this. I think I did. How about I actually touch a key? This synthesizer is so good sounding.
Wow.
It's so different.
So
I mean,
beautiful.
just from that one touch, it's so different than any other synthesizer. Okay, now a lot of people have said this synthesizer doesn't have a lot of bottom end, and that's true, but it does have this. This VCO1, for some reason, that's your bottom end.
Wow.
You know, it sounds a little like mid-rangey here, but dude, there's something about this synthesizer. There's this crisp clarity. Dude, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you hear the
It's
way
so fat. You're like clipping the input.
I believe the reason that there's the misconception that this synthesizer isn't fat is because it's really this one knob here. You know, I don't know. The VCO1, in VCA1, it only has one LFO, but the way the LFO works, it's pretty satisfying. So since the attack is all the way up, it's gonna slowly speed up the LFO. Right? It's really interesting. There's another version of this, right? The CS30L, and it does not have the sequencer. And I almost bought that one because aesthetically, I really love the way it looks. I mean, it's just this big, fat block of synthesizer. You know, it's flat. It doesn't have this angle here. But the reason why I went for this one is because you can have the filter be affected by the sequencer, right? So it's hard for me to talk with a synthesizer because all my other synthesizers exist in my brain, but the architecture of this one is not fully conceptualized in my mind yet. There's always something being modulated, it seems, you know? Like a lot of the magic with this thing is modulation. You know, if you're just gonna listen to the regular sounds without modulation, I mean, it sounds really good. I can't say that it's boring. I mean, this synth, the magic is really in the modulation. So you see how it's sped up? It's slowed down and then it... You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And I don't even understand how it's doing that because there's just so many different things interacting. See, because I'm affecting the LFO with speed and the envelope depth. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, those were some beautiful keyboards, right? Let us know in the comments below which are your favorite and which you'd like to see. Between Hanz Volt and myself, we have over 100 synthesizers. So please do let us know. Thank you again to Hanz Volt for coming out. Please check out his SoundCloud, his Instagram, his YouTube channel. Please check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud and my YouTube channel as well. If you'd like to support us, you can do so on Patreon, or there's a link below for PayPal Donate. This channel is entirely self-funded. All the videography, the editing, the production, the graphics, all my time is donated and tithed just so you can enjoy this stuff. Please let us know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Also, please check out JML Recording Studios.com. If you're looking for a studio in the tri-state area, we're about 15 minutes away from Port Authority, Manhattan, New York. Also, if you're looking for graphics or web design, videography, or editing, you can check us out at lutzmultimedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe, like, mash the buttons, and share this with any friends that you have that are into audio engineering or music production. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Take care of each other. God bless.